Hi there, this is Mark and I'm here in Dolores Park. This is right near my apartment in San Francisco, and we're looking actually sort of past the park. Behind me there, and there's a statue of Miguel Hidalgo, and he's known as the father of the Mexican War of Independence. He was a leader in that. And so there's a statue there. It's one of the things that did remain. They did a big renovation, and that's been here. I don't know when that was. I don't know. I'm not sure when that was put up, but anyway, here we are. I'm here doing my reading from the Golden Present Daily Inspirational Readings by Sri Swami Satchidananda, and this is for July 25th, and the topic is never forget what you got that is good. Never forget what you got that is good. If you really want to develop more faith and devotion, then think about the great benefits and gifts you have been constantly receiving. The more you think of them, the more you feel grateful, the more you feel devoted, the more you feel love. But unfortunately, our tendency is to forget all the nice gifts and instead to remember the one small thing we did not get. Never forget what you received that is good, even though it is small. But don't even remember it for a minute if somebody has done some harm to you. Even this one teaching is enough to help us to see friends and only friends everywhere. And that's how you develop your devotion. It seemed a bit like a nice light teaching until that middle point where, never forget to forget someone that has harmed you. To see this one teaching where you see friends and only friends everywhere. I mean, I'm sure Miguel Hidalgo didn't see it that way, and when there's a war, there definitely are sides, and it's a pretty barbaric way that we seem to still know how to resolve things in this world and for the sake of peace, by killing other people and harming other people. If we were to always see them as friends, could that be the medicine that would change all that? Whoops, I just shifted this. Actually, I like that. Is that really something that's possible? But like he says here, our tendency is to forget all the nice gifts. Our tendency may be to forget the good qualities in people, and we'll focus on the negative qualities, or we'll focus on things we may even make up in our mind. We may feel suspicious or judgmental, critical of something that may not even be really true. We may have this misperception based on what we think we're seeing with our own very eyes, and we may declare it as something that, is bad or is wrong. And so that then can escalate. And it's interesting to look in your own community, where have you seen, or in your own family, in your household, where a misunderstanding led to an argument. And that argument may have lasted for a certain amount of time, weeks even, months. Created all kinds of passive-aggressive behaviors or whatever may be happening until finally there is a conversation that brings about peace and truth. And maybe there was either misunderstanding or somebody was able to come to a different place of acceptance around what happened. It just seems to be part of this human nature, But to have some practice, I talked about yesterday a guidepost, a guiding light that can remind us how we can actually maintain our peace. We don't have to follow this historical process of having war be the answer, But we will until we won't, right? And if maybe one person at a time, one group of people at a time, one community at a time, we can start to recognize this shift and practice that in our own life first. It has to start there in order for it to really be something that can expand outwards, ripple outwards. So if you really want to develop more faith and devotion, then think about the great benefits and gifts you've been constantly receiving. And we tend to think about what we're not getting versus what we are getting. So if we can keep our mind attuned to the gifts of, I was just talking with somebody about this just earlier, the idea of a gift isn't always necessarily this thing wrapped up in a pretty bow and beautiful wrapping paper. Sometimes a gift can be something very painful. It might even feel like the worst thing in the world at one point in our life. And then it's at a later point, moving through whatever that is, we feel changed, maybe stronger, maybe wiser, maybe more grounded in who we are. Maybe we were able to connect with other people. We feel more connected in the world, and that might not have happened before that experience. So is it possible that while we don't want to welcome any of those hardships and difficult things to happen in our life, we can at least recognize that there may be an opportunity inside of that for us to wake up, to awaken, to get to know ourselves or our humanity a little bit better, a little bit more deeply. Rather than thinking it's wrong, it shouldn't happen, it's like, why is this happening? What is there for me? I try to practice that as best I can, and there have been some, difficult things that have happened recently within my family, within, the building of this business. And how can I keep moving forward, when there's this setback or this difficulty or this financial fear? But it's learning how to weather through those things and to know that, the sun will come out again. It just does. It just seems to be, the way that nature operates. It's not by accident, So never forget what you got that is good. And sometimes I know, I will do this sometimes, not always, but I have friends who will make a gratitude list. They'll write down 5 things, either every morning when they wake up or every night before they go to bed. Just write down 5 things. And there's something about putting, pencil to paper, pen to paper, that actually helps the brain acknowledge that experience. So that can be a way to help you, remind you so you don't forget. Just some of these simple things each day. Try it, just 3 things, writing them down. I'm going to do it. I think it'd be a good practice as well. All right, thanks for watching, and appreciate you being part of this process. And I'll see you tomorrow. All right, bye.